All right. Well, hello, everybody. Glad you're here, taking this time to join us on our Restoring Resourcefulness journey together. So let me just start with a little introduction here. So hello, my name is Dean Yasuda. I'm a member of the Restoring Resourcefulness Faculty, along with my co-facilitator, Alexande DeBlieux, which he's right there. I'd like to welcome you to our Foundation for Conscious Living's Big Leap Home online programs. These programs support individuals, organizations, and communities in generating agency, connection, and creativity on our shared planet. So today we're launching a new Big Leap Bridge series on our Restoring Resourcefulness program, which supports a global shift in our ability to effectively move out of the fear trance and to experience access to choice, connection, and collaboration. So we're going to be kicking off today with a breathing module. We'll be doing what's called a centering breath. And if we do have more time, we will add in another breathing practices that bridges what the centering breath does into another breath. And then we'll just see how the time permits for us to do that. So I'm going to just give a little more information about myself. So again, my name is Dean Yasuda, and I like to see myself as a dynamic circulator of energy. And I like to ignite aliveness and spontaneity and creativity and everyone I interact with or coach. I'm also a fitness coach. So I like to interact with that part of my life with everywhere I go and meet people. It's just a nice, fun way to to interact. And so I'd like to introduce Alexande DeBlieux, and I experience Alexande as this light, loving soul that can bridge different people that I've experienced with him. He knows how to bridge, and it's such a great craft to have in our culture. And he's such a beautiful soul in our community. And I'd like to go ahead, Alexander.
Well,
Sure.
thank you, Dean.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. And I would just like to say I experience you, Dean, as a person that is not only the master of this topic. So everyone, like you're getting great stuff from the master of breath over here, but also someone who is so easy to be around and to work with. And I always, my experiences, I feel so held and cared for when we're in community. And you're one of the first people I was ever paired with since when I joined a long time ago. It feels like a long time now. So I'm so grateful for you, Dean.
Mm.
Um, so, like Dean said, my name is Alexand. I'm a creative guide, brand consultant, and faculty member of the Resourcefulness program. I've been Diven Hendricks Institute for the past 5 or 6 years now, and I've woven all these practices that I've learned into my personal life and the way that I support others for better ease, presence, and the experience of choice. So thank you all again for being here. This is the kickoff of getting the Restoring Resourcefulness program out to the whole community in this way, and we're excited to see how this experience goes with you all. So to start things off, I want to invite everyone to notice the depth of your breath. If you're willing, point to the location of how deep your breath is going right now. So just nice inhale, exhale. And on the inhale, notice the depth of your breath. And notice without judgment just where your breathing stops comfortably. So I noticed that my breath is stopping just below my chest. I'm in a bit of a light fight or flight breath here. Just noticing that, So I'm gonna start to slow my breath and breathe more deeply into my stomach. Ah, I notice that as I do that, I'm getting more clarity and a little less fuzzy, a little less and that feels good. But I invite you to breathe wherever it feels comfortable as we kick things off.
Mm, yes. The breath. So today we'll be going through some little practices here on what's called the centering breath, which was created by Gay Hendricks, Dr. Gay Hendricks, who's been practicing breathing for 45, 50 years now, and he's the master, of breathing. And for me, that's when I started this journey with the Hendricks almost a decade ago. One of the practices that I took on first was breathing, and I've been doing a breathing practice um, every day since that 10 years ago. And I can tell you from my own experience that has changed my life in incredible ways. It's one of those kind of weird things that I experienced where, I'm a fitness trainer, I'm a fitness guy. So, I always thought, yeah, I can breathe. I breathe in my chest, I can run, I can do all kinds of stuff. What's this breathing thing? But I never realized that I wasn't breathing in my belly because, I had to look good. I had to keep my belly in when I'm training people. I can't have it hanging out, and plus I was in the military for 20 years, so everything was tight and straight up, chest out. And so it was a lot of tension that I didn't realize that I was experiencing until I started breathing and started feeling things that I was scared of, like my being scared, first of all, being angry or being sad. So all the benefits of being a human that I've learned over the past decade about, oh, what am I feeling? Now I can tune in and notice, oh yeah, I feel sad, I feel angry, I feel happy, I feel excitement. So all those emotions that can be, you know, pretty scary if you're not used to, from speaking for myself, not used to knowing what emotions that I'm that I've pushed down from my upbringing to being in the military. There was no room for showing any kind of fear, basically. And so breathing has changed everything. And it was so subtle. It's like I do the practice and it didn't really sink in until I don't really know. All I know is things started making more sense in the practices. I started being able to notice when I was angry and that it was okay. So breathing is just a beautiful, beautiful practice. And thank goodness our body does it anyway. We'll be all dead by now. But our body does breathe on its own, which is awesome. And now to learn how to consciously breathe, bringing it down deep into our belly instead of the fear breathing of in our chest. So learning to breathe can, I I believe, really deeply. And I don't guarantee a lot of things in life except we die and we pay taxes. But if you get a conscious breathing practice and do it daily, that one I will guarantee it will shift a lot of things in your body, in your mind, and so it's such a beautiful benefit. So the centering breath. So when Gay created this breath, the centering breath is a way to remind your body to breathe in the the way it was created to be breathed. So early on, most of us, I'm not going to say all of us, a lot of us, we get traumatized. So our breathing goes upside down. So if you notice, like healthy babies, when they're really young, their belly is out, they're breathing in their belly because they don't have any trauma yet until they get the no, don't touch that, don't do that. And they, you know, I know my grandkids and my kids, you say something and the first thing they do is like they kind of hold their breath and just kind of freeze. And then you go, you okay? And then and that's the start of can be the start of our trauma breathing. Of course, things throughout our life that can be traumatic, and it can be little things which will create that holding of the breath, and that's the upside down breath. So that centering breath is a nice, quick, easy way to center yourself and remind your body that the breathing goes down and not up. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
and Dean, I'll say that the centering breath, it helps to get more oxygen into the bloodstream and balance the oxygen CO2. And once a person can do this, breathe comfortably, and you can extend the pause and get even more benefits out of the breath, right?
Yes, yes.
And and the idea of the centering breath is to use it to interrupt that fight or flight, like you're saying, Dean, and that fight or flight breathing pattern. I can already say, just from when we start, I said that I had that a little bit going on here, but just listening to Dean talk, I just relax, and then I was noticing my breath. um and it helps support that transition to natural breathing, which means breathing more softly into the belly. I had a story I wanted to share about whenever I was getting a medical procedure done a while back, and I was awake for the procedure, and I went into this shortly after doing Restoring Resourcefulness. I don't know if it was my first or second time, but I remembered just the concept of consciously breathing to just keep awareness and eliminate space for tension in my body. So I'm getting this procedure done, and which is it was pretty painful. And I totally zoned out of everything happening around me and just focused completely only on my breath. And I just kept my breath into my belly. I wasn't moving it into my chest. And I noticed that I didn't experience the pain the same way that I had previously when I had done this procedure. And it was incredible. The doctor even noted, he was like, after the procedure was done, he was like, "What were you doing during that? Because I noticed your belly going up and down." I was like, "Oh, well, I was doing this breathing technique. So that way I wasn't focused on the pain happening around me. I was completely in the moment, in presence." And that's another huge benefit of breath work. And I kept myself from focusing in on the pain, because pain only exists as a fear mechanism for the future and the past, right? You can't necessarily experience it in the present if you're in that moment. So the breath helped me tremendously with that. And I use this technique all the time. I had a procedure yesterday, and I was doing my breath work. They put the cuff on my arm, and I had very, very high blood pressure at the moment. I was like, "Oh, okay, we're a little nervous. Let's just bring the breath down." And things went
Mm,
great.
yes, awesome. So notice right now how you're breathing. Are you holding your breath? Are you breathing easily? Just notice, no non-judgmental noticing. Like, oh yeah, maybe I'm holding my breath. And that's a quick, easy, not easy, but that's a way to remind yourself throughout the day to set one way of presencing yourself. Oh, how am I breathing right now? Or, oh, I'm holding my breath. And like, oh, let me take a breath. And like really being light about it and not another criticism or judgment on yourself that we often all do enough. We don't need more. So when you notice you're holding your breath, like, oh, wow, I'm holding my breath. All right, let me take a breath. And we always talk about staying in your comfort zone. And so when we're doing these practices of any kind of breath work, what I see as in your comfort zone is if your breath is shallow, you don't have to go to that next level and be uncomfortable. You're like, oh, I'm supposed to breathe for 5 seconds on inhale and 5 seconds on exhale, and I can't get to that. It's like pause. Like, no, your comfort level. So if it's only 3 seconds, okay, that's my comfort zone. And then you breathe out and just really be easy and kind to yourself and just know that, okay, this is where my breath, this is the expansion of my breath right now, and it's okay. And then the more you practice, the more deeper your breath will go and longer. But the key to me of breath work is to really keep it in your comfort zone. And what that means is just be where you're at. If that breath is shallow, then just play with that. Because the easier you're on yourself, then your body will start relaxing and it'll start expanding more and more. So let's go and practice this centering breath that we've been talking about. But first,
Before we do that real quick, sorry, we had a comment. Victoria, you asked if I could repeat what I said about fear. So what I was getting at with that is that breath is a pathway to presence. And presencing is another module in restoring resourcefulness. So just be sure to catch that one because they'll go into that in even more depth. But the way that I experience fear as it relates to breath and presence is that fear can only exist whenever you're thinking about something that's going to happen in the future or something that's happened in the past. So whenever it comes to breath, it is a mechanism to keep you in the presence. And there's other presencing techniques that exist. But breath has always been a pathway for that with me, especially with medical issues and things like that, where I'm experiencing pain. Breath and presence are a huge component of that for me personally. That's how I've experienced. Does that answer your question? Okay, great.
thank you, Alexande, for having that chat. I just opened it up and like, oh, but thank you for catching that. Sometimes I don't look at that often because it kind of distracts me a little bit. So having two of us in there, so appreciate that. Thank you. Um, so first, let's play with what it feels like, and not too much, what it feels like to have like a little fear breathing. So if you tighten your belly, so just suck your gut in and tighten it, and then see if you can see how you're breathing. Take a big breath in. Where does that breath go? You notice where it goes? I notice it all goes in my chest when your belly is tight. And it's short and it doesn't feel good. And that creates more stress. So go ahead and just relax. We don't want to do that too much. So just notice that. Notice when your belly is tight and you're breathing in your chest. Okay? And then we're gonna start off with is just a little practice that is nice to do before your breath or even as you're going out through your day. It's a way to notice what tension feels like in your body. So just breathing your normal breath for now. Just hold your hand out, and then just gently squeeze. You're not squeezing too tight, and then open. And then do that a few times. So squeeze your fist and open it. A couple more times. Squeeze and open. Squeeze and open. And so this next bit, I really invite you to do this in your comfort zone. Okay, I'm going to say to tighten things, but you don't have to tighten things to a stressful space. Just do it in a little ways. So now with your go up your arms and your upper body and just see if you can tighten it a little bit. Squeezing it tight and then loose it. Squeezing your upper body in your fist and then loose it. Do it one more time. Just a little squeeze and loosen. And then I just add in our legs and then see if we can get our whole body into a tightened state. Like keep it in your comfort zone. Don't go, I don't want anybody passing out. Okay. So so you just squeeze your body, your your bottom cheeks, your legs, and your body and hands, and then release. You squeeze everything, even your jaw, and then release. So what this is what this does is it reminds your body like, oh, that's what tension feels like. So you can also be like, oh, this is what I feel like when I'm tense. So just being aware of that tightness and loose, tight and loose is such a beautiful way to, oh, like, wow, I was kind of tense, you know, or, oh, yeah, I feel relaxed. But tensing and relaxing can just open up another level of, oh, that's what it feels like to be relaxed. You know, and even a easy shoulder one is just raise your shoulders up like this and just drop it down. You raise your shoulders and drop it down. And like, oh, that's where I want my shoulders to feel and be in, instead of, because our shoulders is where we often tense up when we're doing stuff, right? Typing, writing, especially if it's something intense, like, oh, let me relax my shoulders. And whatever you're doing, especially computer, phone, all the things that we've been molding ourselves into from this our culture. So that's a nice way to play with that idea of tension and relax, tension and relax. Okay. Right. And all right. So now we're going to add in the centering breath. So first thing I want you to do is pull your belly in. So we're not adding any breath. So you're just sucking your belly button back to your spine and then release it. So sucking your belly in and then release. Sometimes it helps to have your hand on there so you can feel your belly going in and then boom, just plop it out. It's all the opposite of what what I've learned in our culture of holding your belly in because you got to look good, you know. So, you know, you're learning to wear clothes that are a little bit looser, so you have access for your tummy to relax a little bit, and you know, get to a point, you know, where I got to a point where it doesn't matter what people think, you know. Yeah, I have a six pack, but I can also let my belly hang out, and it's okay. You know, I don't have to always be trainer guy, you know. Oh. So learning that I can relax my belly, because then it presents me with my person, whoever it is. They're not looking. Well, if they are, then I don't care. Like, you want to look at my belly, that's fine. But I'm here with you, and when I'm in presence, then I'm going to invite the other person to be in presence too. That's the way I look at it. All right, so now we're going to add we're going to do this centering breath. So what I like you to do is you're going to be squeezing your hand also. So when you're squeezing, you're going to take a breath in, and as you're squeezing your hand, blow out. I need my volume up. All right, can you hear me better? Or do I need to speak up more? All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to take a deep breath in and then blow gently out of your mouth, squeezing your hands, squeezing your belly in till all the air is out. Then you get to the end and you just release. So you release your hands, release your belly, and then take some easy breaths. And then we'll do it again. So you take a deep breath in, squeezing your hands gently, blowing the air out of your mouth, a nice steady blow, squeezing your tummy all the way out, get all the air out, get to the end, loosen your belly, take a breath in, open your hands. So I'm going to give this moment to Alexande, if you also have something to bring in, or does anyone have any questions or questions or anything about what we've done so far? Yeah, just
Leslie?
unmute yourself and.
Good morning, and thank you both for the offering. And pardon me if I was being distracting earlier. I just picked some raspberries in my garden, and I kind of had to pick out the ones that were mushed before they like got into my bowl that had all the nice ones. So,
No, I would have enjoyed that too if you had fresh raspberries.
so thank you very much. You know, I'm a big believer in what you have to say, and I'm grateful for you to bring awareness so that it'll bring more awareness to my life for practicing. And I just wondered if you'd like to add in anything. You know, you're talking about the fear response, and Dean, you know, you got in touch with your emotions and stuff, but did you want to add anything in about health benefits of this? And, you know, just there's tons, I'm sure, but just couple it off the top of, you know, like what this kind of breathing can do for, you know, certain conditions or health benefits.
Yeah, I mean, Alexande, you want to jump in or?
Yeah, well, I will say, like, off the top of my head, it helps decrease the fear hormones in the body. So, like the adrenaline and cortisol, it helps to release that. And as we know, flushing that out of the body has huge benefits all the way around for health. I'll also, for just easing tension in the body, I've had personally, I've had issues with involuntary tension that I've held in parts of my body that I've seen a physical therapist for. And breath was the first thing that she taught me how to do. She asked me to sit and feel breath and feel my body relax all the way down to my pelvic floor. If you sit, that was an interesting exercise. Dean, you probably could say more about this, but she would have me sit on a flat surface and then breathe deeply, and then see how deep I could get my breath to the point where I could feel the base of my breath touching the seat that I was on. So relaxing all the way down into the pelvic floor, which is massive benefits for relaxation all the way around, but also helps notice. It brings awareness to the pelvic floor. My sister's a pelvic floor therapist, so we talk about this all the time. But you know, they talk about pelvic floor a lot for women, but it also has huge benefits for men as well, because men generally don't have the awareness or the physical awareness of that part of the body. So that was really interesting for me to learn. And that just, those are off the top of my head, those are the benefits physically that I've noticed.
Yeah, I think you pretty much topped it off. And I just like to add in the pelvic part because there's another, you know, slightly advanced, but not, where the pelvic that comes into the pelvic area where you, when you're doing the centering breath, you can also squeeze your pelvic area up as you're releasing the air. So you're pulling in and releasing air. So it's, and then, and that's another level of relaxation that happens when you tune into that more. And also it brings a lot more presence in your body when you're doing this kind of breath work, where you're bringing all your focus in instead of out, where our brain does. You know, our brain does that. We're thinking, we're doing, we're all this stuff out here, and we're living up here. And then when we bring in the breath and consciously do things, it brings us home into our essence self, really. And you know, a sense of calmness, all the benefits of breath that, you know, there's so much, you know, I'm sure I'm making up that everyone heard so much about breathing from everywhere. It's everywhere now, which is fantastic. And what I like about Gay's breathing techniques is it's very simple, and it's all about simplicity, as simple as you can make it in your comfort zone. because we're, as we got older, and if you're not used to breathing this way, it's going to take a bit for your body to shift from chest breathing to belly breathing. So does that help there, Leslie?
Yeah, I mean, kind of what I'm practicing is taking an in breath, expanding my belly out, and then and then raising it up kind of to my chest, kind of a full body breath. And then
Yeah.
as I exhale, I'm pulling my pelvic floor up and pulling my belly back to my spine, kind of tightening, contracting a little, because I need to improve my pelvic floor. So does that
Nice.
sound good?
Yeah.
Cool.
No,
Thank
yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks, Leslie.
Anybody else? Yeah, Victoria.
Victoria.
Yeah, thank you. I'm probably the newest person here. Um, I'm wondering, how do you incorporate this sort of habit into your daily life so that it becomes attractive in a sort of easy way, or at least not so difficult way? Like, can you eh, maybe expand a little bit on what your own experience is? Because I would like to. A part of me is like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this every day, every minute, but that's not, I think, the way. Maybe what is the middle way? Maybe that's the question.
Well, I think often we get into this thing, we have to like get focused, and you're like, oh, I gotta do this thing, and then I don't do it, and like, oh my God, then we beat ourselves up and like, oh my God, I'm a failure.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
Whatever comes up. I think first is just really being easy about this. And so the centering breath that I just taught you is like a, when you remember, that's the thing, is like you have awareness now around this. And then remember, this is a quick way to just notice where your breathing is. So if you're like, oh, I don't know, if I feel like my breathing's kind of off. So then you, and then loosen your belly, because this is where you want to start teaching your breath to come down. So the centering breath is a nice quick way to just notice when you're breathing upside down. This, unless you're an avid belly breather, then this is just another addition to your to your um, to your daily life. And then just start off with, there's lots of information on the Foundation for Conscious Living and videos, free videos about the yes breath, this breath, healing reset breath, and you can start with that. And then really just
Okay, thank you.
yeah, and just be kind, and don't, be gentle with yourself on starting a new practice. And you just come back like, oh, okay, I missed it. Let me just come back, and just come back and just try it again. Just
Yeah.
keep going. And does that help? Or
Yeah, no, thank you. I have a Zen meditation practice, so it reminds me of like when I'm meditating and my mind just goes
Mhm.
elsewhere. And so this returning, right? This returning home is what I hear you say. So maybe just building on my Zen practice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Victoria, I'd also add into that just the simple step of whenever things feel like they're not going the way that you want them to, or if any like thing starts to slip. So for me personally, when I notice that I knocked something over, or if, I got an email that bothers me, or like things aren't going my way. Like, let's say that I'm not experiencing the easy world that I want to be
Yeah.
experiencing. So
Yeah.
once I notice that, the two questions I ask myself are, where is my breath? So then that immediately kicks that off. So like once I have that negative experience, I have a trigger kind of set up of where is my breath? And then also, what is my essence pace? Am I in my essence pace right now? Essence pace is an activity that it's all over the foundation and things, but those are the two things that I'll ask myself, because breath and essence pace go hand in hand in my experience. But just starting to like, and it takes I still do not do this perfectly at all, but if I can notice whenever things are not going my way, if I can notice where my breath is, I can correct that. That's what I can handle in the moment. Like we were talking about with presence, right? If I am in a fear state and I'm focused on the past or the future, I can't do anything about either of those things. The only thing I can do is what's happening here now, and I can make this the most nourishing experience of the now. And my breath being in my chest is not that. So that's how I experience that. Of just things aren't going my way. Okay, where's my breath? How am I moving about? Let's correct that.
Hmm.
And then I spend a few
Yeah.
seconds on that. And then I stop knocking things over in the kitchen, and I don't, respond to angry emails.
Yeah, thank you. I start dropping things in the kitchen if I'm in the kitchen. Like there's a way that the energy gets out. Thank you. That's so
Yeah,
helpful. Thank you both.
sure.
Yeah, thanks, Alexander. That was great. I really appreciate that reminder. And I've had people that use their timer, like every hour, beep beep beep. Oh, let me just practice this centering breath for a couple seconds, and then so that's another way to, we have all this technology, so use it the best we can for our advantage, because it does take away our breath anyway when we look at stuff. Like, oh my God, that's what's going on. So, yeah. Anybody else got anything? Okay. Look, we got 20 minutes. So what do you think, Alexander? We can transition into another breath.
Yeah, give us something else, Dean.
Yeah. So this one is the next level of the centering breath, and this one is also it's called the reset healing breath. It's called both. And oh, this breath, I love this breath. It's like Alexander said, when you're doing something and you're like, oh my God, I can't think, or something happening and you're just in this, yeah, exactly, like shaking. And when you're undecisive, making a choice and you can't do it, whatever it is, whatever feeling that you're just off, this healing breath that I've experienced is just powerful and beautiful. And the scientific part is it balances your acid alkaline in your body. So when you do this breath, you have a small level of CO2 always in your body. And then when you bring in the oxygen, it balances out and it gives you a sense of calmness. And that's the small scientific part of this breath. And but we'll do some practicing and we'll see how you feel about it. So first, just go ahead and check in with how you feeling right now. How's your breath? Maybe move your body around a little bit, your shoulders, and your legs, and just give your body a little love. Like, yeah, move around. So I'm going to talk you through this first. So it's the exact same using it's the exact same movement of the centering breath, except when you get to the end, you're going to hold the breath out as long as you're comfortable. Okay, so what it's going to look like is you're going to be taking a deep breath in, blowing all the air out till you get to the end. And when you get to the end, you pause, holding the air out. You relax as much as you can. And then when you need to breathe in, you breathe in through your nose, into your belly. Okay, so it's not a competition here. Even a small amount of time that you can hold your air out, it all will benefit you. And the more and more you practice this, the more and more you'll be able to hold your breath out longer and feel even more benefits. For me, the longer I hold it out, after I practice for a while, I get this sense of like this natural high where it just opens things up and I'm like, whew, okay. And then once I do that about 3 times, then things things fall into place because I'm open. I'm not stuck in my head. You're open. Oh, there's the answer. Like, oh, it's right there. Well, I've been trying to figure this thing out. It's up, there, you know, one of those. So, any questions before we do? We'll do a few of those about this breath. So it's called the healing reset breath. We're doing the same movement as the centering breath, except at the end, you're going to hold the breath out. You're not going to breathe in, holding all your breath out until you need to breathe in. Okay? All right, so let's practice that. So you're going to take a nice deep breath in. Just imagine there's a little candle in front of you, blowing it out through your mouth, blowing, squeezing your stomach, getting all the air out of your belly. When you get to the end, don't breathe in, holding the air out. And then try and soften your body as much as you can. And then when you need to breathe in, take a breath in. Like I said, it's not a competition. You don't have to hold your breath out and, you know, like, oh, I'll get out. There's no shaking. We don't want to do any of that. You just hold it out as long as you're comfortable, and then your body will tell you to breathe in, and you breathe in, and then take easy breaths. Okay, so this one, you do that healing breath. Take some easy breaths until you feel a sense of calmness. It's usually recommended to do 3 of them, and I've experienced 3 would be a nice. So you just do that. And then when you're ready, you can do another one. So you're taking a deep belly breath in, blowing, flickering the candle in front of you with your breath. Squeezing your belly till all the air is out. Hold the air out, don't breathe in. Try and soften your body as you're holding that breath out. And then when you need to, take a nice easy breath in. Getting warmed up over there, I see. Yeah, breathing, get the circulation going, and everything starts moving. And in between, when you're taking your easy breaths, just move your body around. Just notice what's happening in your body. And then when you're ready, just do one more, do 3 of them. Nice big belly breath in, blowing out through your mouth, like flickering the candle in front of you, squeezing your belly. All the air is out, and you're holding the air out. You're not breathing in. Soften your body as much as you can. And then when you need to breathe in, breathe in. Doesn't matter if it's 5 seconds, 1 second, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. It's all about keeping it as simple and easy as possible for yourself. And when you get done, notice how you're feeling. Notice how your head's feeling. Notice how your body's feeling when you're after those 3 healing breaths. And you might not feel anything, or you might. It's no big deal. But you did something that's really going to help your body and your mind. You know, we're all connected. You know, it's one big body here. Any thoughts about that one? How do you feel? Yeah, Nancy.
Nancy.
Feel calmer.
Good.
Mm.
That's
For some reason I started sweating too.
it. Well, you know, sometimes we get the blood flowing. When we're
Yeah. It's like, oh wow, warm.
And I've also found that this works for hiccups.
Um,
I just tried it and it was like, that worked. And I did it some again. And I'm like, wow, that worked. Somebody else was doing it in my family. I'm like, try this breath. And they did it and got their hiccups because it's balancing your body. Because hiccups, you're a little off. Your body's a little off. When
so
you
this is called what again, please?
it's healing reset breath.
Okay, healing reset breath. Okay.
I feel centered and happy.
Yay.
And because I'm really into pelvic floor contractions these days, I'd like to ask, when I was putting the breath out, I was doing a contraction, and then I found when I was holding my breath, I was holding the contraction, but then it was a little harder to relax. Would do you think should I skip it on this, or do you think it can work conjunctively, or maybe simplify it?
I think, personally, don't add that one in with the reset breath.
Yeah,
With the centering breath, I think you can, the shorter one.
yeah,
Squeeze everything and then release.
yeah,
Squeeze and then release. But when you're doing the reset breath, you try and soften everything as you're holding, because you're already holding your breath out, so that can already cause. So if you're squeezing that too, then it's like, oh.
yeah. I can be an overdoer sometimes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else got anything for that?
I felt like energized, you know, like something like that, like an upstream of energy.
Yeah. No, that can happen too. Yeah. But thanks for noticing that, because I didn't mention that. But yeah, it can give you a little boost of like, whoa, that woke me up. You know?
Yeah, that's a good way to describe the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the cognitive part of me was asking, what happens just now? Like, I'm like, I don't know.
Alexande, you got anything you want to throw in?
Yeah, I felt a sense of just more like a tingly, like aliveness kind of feeling, awareness of my surroundings, and a sense of clarity. I just like my vision changed a little, like I was able to focus more, less fuzziness, which felt very nice.
Yeah, that's everything I experienced. The more and more I've done this, it's changed. I can hold it out longer and hold the air out longer, and it just feels good. When you have a practice that you can come back to when you're feeling stressed, feeling out of sorts. You can do 3 healing breaths, and it can, what my experience is, just brings you right back to yourself. And yeah.
Well, what I love too is the instructions piece. Like you've got like the steps, right? And what's helpful about that is that it brings your mind to those steps. So you're focusing only on that and not other things going on, which is really, really nice. It's for, bringing it back into presencing as well. Mary, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, when I'm feeling out of sorts, I put on Dean, you and Michelle's shaking video, and sometimes I need to do that before I can do the breath work. Like I have to shake anxiety out of my body, like almost better just moving my whole body before I do the breathing.
Oh, thank you.
But you're part of my routine when I'm freaking out.
No, that's good.
So you're like Pavlov's dog to me. You're already calmness in my mind.
Is that the fear melters dance they do with the 4
Yeah. There's a pretty quick one that you can do with them that changes things really fast, like in a couple minutes.
Can you put that in the link, Mary, which one that is?
I don't know where it's at. It's on the
What is
Foundation.
it, like just 2 or 3 minutes or something? Or
yeah, there's one. Isn't there one that's like 2 and one that's 4 or something? I feel like there's 2 different ones. But
Right.
they're on Henderson's website, right?
Yeah, the Foundation for Conscious Living. You
Yeah,
go
on that website. Yeah.
You
You know
know,
me,
there's
I can't figure that stuff out when I'm
You
my
know,
brain-
Not a quick
my
techie
brain's
too.
gone.
If Michelle was here, the link would already be in there, or maybe exactly.
Yeah, but I don't work that way.
I'm with you. I'm cool.
But thanks, Mary. I really appreciate you bringing that up, because often, yeah, we need to move first or breathe first. Like for me, breathing was my go-to, and then for Michelle, my wife, she needed to move. She needed to move her body first, and then bring in the breath. So yeah, that's 2 ways you can bring yourself home, is just like move your body. Fear melters, perfect. And just move your body too. Like if you feel stuck, move your body. If you're not moving, move your body. That's the thing, is like if you're sitting still, move your body some way. Change your body position, or go to your breath, because that's a good way to come home to yourself. But yeah, the Fear Melter videos are great, and it's fun. And that's another practice that you can do, because when you're in fear and you don't have the awareness, you're going to be in fear. That's it. You're going to be off to the races. So practicing letting your body know what to do, your body will remind you when you're in some kind of tension. That's what I've noticed. Like I get tension, and so a little voice will go, take a breath, Dean, take a breath. Oh, thank you. Or move your body, move your body. Oh, and that was just because I practice, like anything, the more you practice, it'll stay embodied into you, and then you'll be able to reap the benefits. So
The fear melters will be another part of this series. So that one will be coming up as well. So you'll keep an eye out. That's going to be another one. And like Dean was saying, we talked about earlier with the fear hormones that are in your body, adrenaline, cortisol, that is one of the ways to actually like move it through the body so it's processed, and breath helps with that as well. But yeah, all these things paired together are really nice. I used to do for a long time, I probably need to bring this back. Every morning, like after I brushed my teeth, I'd stand in front of the mirror and do 2 minutes of fear melters. I would just bounce back and forth and just do what felt nice. Because with the fear melters, which they're going to get into, which I mean, that's fascinating, all of that. What I'll do is whatever fear melter feels the best for my body, the corresponding fear is what I'm feeling. And sometimes I'm not even able to name it, but then I will go backwards like that and it'll feel really nice. And then land it with 2 minutes of breath right after that. So like 4 minutes total. It's a great way to kick off the day for sure.
yeah.
Because we signed up for this, will we automatically get invited to the next one?
It should be, yeah. It should.
I think so. I think that we'll make sure that that's clear, that whenever that comes up, there'll be emails and things that'll go out. But just keep an eye out for the Restoring Resourcefulness stuff. That there's going to be a total of 7. Yeah. Yeah.
Lovely.
7 practices.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Of course.
she's like, yeah. That's a good movement too.
Very, very kind of both of you. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Mhm.
So let's see, we've got 5
Lovely.
minutes left. Anything you want to throw in there, Alexande, or anyone else want to present anything that's up for them?
I'm grateful for you all for showing up today and exploring this with us, being the first group for this series. And thank you, Dean, for being such an excellent, masterful facilitator of this. So great always to partner with you in this. Feels easy and in flow.
Yes, I have the same feelings for you, Alexande. So appreciate your sharing and your knowledge and your loving presence.
Mm.
And
Thank you.
appreciate all of you for showing up, taking the time to learn a tool that can really you can really benefit from. And my last thing is practice. But now you have awareness, so now I think it can sink in. Just notice when you're not breathing, take a breath.
I feel really grateful for your guys' patience and care, you know, and wanting to get this out in the world and offering it to us, and that we're in such a loving community, you know, and it's really up for me now, so it's really good timing. So appreciate both of you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Patricia. Appreciate that. Okay, so until next time, breathe on, choose happiness,
Be
and
happy.
love yourself. Love yourself throughout any situation. Come back and be kind to yourself. Love yourself just the way you are. Perfect in your imperfections. And thank you.
Thank y'all so much.
Thanks.
Have a beautiful day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, everyone.